Hello, my name is Michael Selzer. My first experience at Kripalu was over 20 years ago. The shift of energy I experienced that became uncovered for me at the end of a massage with Umesh is still accessible for me to this day. Even though I live in Boca Raton, Florida, I have not missed a year at Kripalu, and the visit number on my name tag is in the 40s. I would like to acknowledge my heartfelt gratitude to the many teachers I have been with, from Kripalu senior staff to guest presenters and other guests that have been so willing to share their insights and energy. Over these many years of continual growth and expansion, it is time for me to start giving back my interpretation of life through the lens of happiness. I have been practicing dentistry for 40 years as a specialist in prosthodontics. My training and experiences at Kripalu, Yogaville, Isabel Friedman Center, life coach training, study of Jewish mysticism, and personal studies, along with innumerable discussions with my wonderful sister, Marsha Goldberg, has been an excellent addition to my dental practice as well as my entire life. I have created a book titled Inner Thoughtscapes, Glimpses of Joy, and an email newsletter titled Secrets for a Happier Life. This is in addition to take-home audio tapes combining a meditation on relaxation with patient care for periodontal disease. I also have incorporated numerous breathing and concentration experiences for patients to more easily sit for dental treatments. The photos you have been viewing are from my book.
And he said it's important to listen to the space between the words. And that really gets you focused on what the person is saying.
Yes, yeah. If you can slow your mind down to be present in between the space of breaths or in between the space of somebody else's words, there's just a lot of this free energy that's floating around. And if you can concentrate on the energy rather than the emotional content of reaction to what somebody is saying, you're doing active listening because you're really paying attention to what's there.
1, 2.
Good. Okay, we got that. Very good. All right. So all the ones turn a little bit to your left, and all the twos turn a little bit to your right. Good. All right. I think you have an instant thought. Okay. All right. What I'd like you to do is just think back to the place where you were brought up, where you figured, that's the city, the house that you were growing up in is the one that I want you to focus some attention on. And just draw a floor plan of that house. What we're going to do in a few minutes is to describe the floor plan that you drew to your partner. But I want you to do it in a different manner than just talking about it the way that you would normally do it. I want to start building up the ability to come back up from the work side. We all know we can go from fun down through resistance into stress and we end up at work. We all know that feeling, losing energy. But do we know the feeling of being able to build energy back up? And not because something happens, a circumstance, something happens from the outside. You get a phone call that you remember the old Millionaire show, Michael Anthony, pulls up, or you get good news about something. So it's not that you're getting good news from the outside, but from internally being able to build your energy back up. So you get back from that crunchy feeling of work back up into fun. And one of the processes of doing that is willful attention, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And to have the willful attention, you want to start with what's called active listening. So active listening is listening without responding with words or facial expressions that would either display approval or disapproval. So the speaker is going to tell about their floor plan, and you're just going to sit there and receive in listening, as if you were holding an umbrella open for a child or the front door open for an elderly patient coming in. All right, so the speaker can start, and the listeners just open and just receive what's there. Just tell the story of your floor plan. Describe what your floor plan is, the rooms, the house, some of the memories from the house.
Can I look at it? I
to
can't
the
see it
person.
like that. Oh, is she not looking at it, or?
Oh, you can look at it.
Oh.
Yeah, you can look at it, describe it. Or
I'm looking at it? Okay.
Swing Golf for Medical Professionals is a unique program being developed by my wonderful golf coach, friend, and buddy, Les Bolland. For me, the instruction, knowledge, insight, compassion, and actual golf skill I have received from Les places him in the category of a combined Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The joys and sorrows that are spontaneously brought to awareness on the golf course mimic those of a medical professional at work. By experiencing the ability to relax into those emotions at golf as they dissolve into what Les calls a fresh air swing, and then forming parallels with the very same emotions of a medical professional at work, a student can also learn to dissolve those emotions into what I call a fresh air breath. Philip Moffat describes it as follows: ironically, by being in touch with and acting from your true intentions, you become more effective in reaching your goals than when you act from wants and insecurities. I describe it as when the mind stops, joy opens. This here is important. Okay. So the three parts, we mentioned this: willful, surrender, and flow, which I call attention, let it be, and in the zone. So we learned a little bit, or we experienced attention by focusing attention on the floor plan, drawing the floor plan, putting the lines in, putting the labels in. So there was attention on that. And just taking attention to whatever happening in a moment can shift your happiness level, your energy level, higher up. You can start going back up on the other side just by placing attention on the discomfort in yoga, from the floor plan, from looking at the lecturer. If sometimes I'll go to lectures and the guy's just not interested, or my mind's someplace else, and I'll just willful, take that willful nature, and I'll place my attention on the speaker. I'll watch his hands, I'll watch his eyebrows, I'll watch his body, I'll watch his lips move, I'll watch his nose twitch, and after maybe a minute and a half, all of a sudden, I shift into interest. I just get interested in what's happening because I willfully place my attention on it. I surrender, well, let it be, as in the other songs that I like, the Beatles song, Let It Be, and just surrender into the discomfort of the yoga posture, or the surrender into the watching of whatever is happening in that moment, and then go into the flow. Get in the zone. You may not get all the way there, but you can move in that direction. Willfully you put your attention on it, allow it to be the way it is, and then gradually you get into the flow. And it's kind of like ringing a bell. If you take a bell and you ring it, it reverberates. And in meditation language, it's called vitakka. And the resonance of the bell is called vikara. So you have the ringing of the bell. Actually, there's the bell back here. Okay, so you have the striking of the bell, you have the resonance, and then if you strike it again and again and again, it becomes a continuous sound. So that's the flow portion of it. You can strike it, you can willfully place your attention on it, let it reverberate a little bit, place your attention on it again, let it reverberate, and gradually it becomes smooth and it starts to just become a flow.
All the entire time that she was telling me her story, there was a glow on her face of joy.
Right.
It was simple, even though it was
it's true.
It was complicated.
You remember your life as a child is always
there was like this glowing happiness on your face.
Right.
So I got the impression that you had really happy moments of the simplicity of that life. And so it reminded me, and the memory that came back was, I should probably go into detail, was diving off the pontoon for the first time and breaking my fear and then finding I could do it.
Wow.
And then wanting to do it over and over and over again. And just screaming with excitement.
When we go through our daily activities, we start to resist the things that are happening. And it starts to cover up the fun. Our energy decreases. And we have less energy. We start to hunch over a little bit. We get a little saddened or depressed. As compared to when we're elated, you have those bubbles, and then you're back up in fun. And the way to come back up, at least from the experience tonight, part of that was the yoga approach, the Kripalu approach, of willfulness, focusing attention, let it be, whatever comes up, to let it be there, and then go with the flow. When you re-stimulate it, and not trying to resist the discomfort of a yoga posture, but get into the sensation that's there. It's a healing factor. When you go inside whatever the discomfort, don't resist what's happening. If you resist it, it becomes stress. If you don't resist it, it becomes flow. And that's the direction that we're... And that's it. Okay?